All right, welcome back. I'm super excited. We just finished an incredible holiday of honoring those that have fought for us and our freedoms. And, I absolutely, those like the holiday, like Memorial Day, it's that reflection that you take and you sit back and you just honor those that fought for us. And it's a very humbling moment if you truly take that time and have some silence and just give absolute gratitude and support and honor to those. So today is Wednesday, and I'm super excited because I have been getting a ton of messages, and the messages are how do I attract people to me? Like, you guys all hear about attraction marketing and attractive marketing and all those things. And I thought it'd be good to do a quick training on, how do you attract people to you? And it's your message, it's your story, and it's not complicated at all. So I want you guys to erase like all the things you're like, I got to do this and this and this and this. No, it truly is your story that will attract your tribe. It will attract your friends. It'll attract the family that's supposed to be in your circle. It'll attract everyone to you is who you are, your message, your story. And so I want to ask a question to kind of get this rolling. And the first question I want to ask is, how many of you have been more vulnerable, open, and honest on your social media? How many of you have been more you after we went through some of the trainings? And if you're in the Sudden Growth Challenge, you are getting some of that too. But how many of you have been more vulnerable, more open on social media? In your stories, you've shared your life, you've shared maybe a hardship, but how you overcome it. Yeah, you definitely have, right? You have. And so those that have, I want to ask the second question of, has that attracted more people to you? More people engaging with you? More people responding and commenting or actually messaging you? Yes. Right? That is the secret sauce. That is the secret. That is the hack. That is it. We can just end this training right now. But we won't, because some of you are sitting back and going, I don't get it. It didn't, no, it hasn't, right? So the thing is people are attracted to you, your story. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit of how I attract people. And I have some people that might be hopping on that will also share some of their ways too. And I'm excited about that. So with that being said, this is what I want to open your mind to, is it's not just your story of day 1, day 3, day 10. Yes, that is 100%. When I'm talking to somebody about Thrive, 100%. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what I loved on day 1. Oh my gosh, day 3, this is what I noticed. But everything changed in my life when I reflected back after day 10, right? And I'll walk through that in just a minute, because everybody wants to know like how to really, segue that out. But not everybody's ready to hear that, right? So when you're on social media, why not share your story of your family, your story of a new job, your story of a new house, or your transition, right? So like, it really reminded me when I posted on, I don't remember what day it was. You all probably seen it. It was just the other day, but days are like, I feel like days are just amazing. Like they're going so long. So on Sunday, I posted the transformation I posted of my dreaming bigger and what that, my hard work and the team effort and all that. This post here wasn't just about my transformation. I would have gotten a lot of engagement if I just posted my transformation from the beginning of the journey to now. But I also posted about the house we started in to the house we live in now. I also posted our family, how we've transitioned as a family, right? I also posted, we dreamed about a lake house right when we got married in 2008. I wasn't even in the industry. And then how we dream bigger, right? And so all those things, but it related to so many people. It got them dreaming and it got them to be relatable because they're like, gosh, that's what my family looks like. And they look so much happier and more fulfilled in life. I want that picture, right? They can put themselves into that picture and they can look like, oh my gosh, I am at that. I want what she has, right? And so there was so much ways to, that was a huge, those pictures alone shared a bigger story than most people even knew about me, right? And so how are you showing up to share your story? Are you just sharing your Thrive story, or are you sharing your mindset change, right? From the, let's all be real. I don't know how Thrive does it, but we all get way more positive and we all get way more happier and we all get we become a different person, who we were meant to be, who we've always been inside. Nutrition does that and nobody understands it. But guess what? You can share that story and they can go, gosh, that is so me. And I want that, right? You got to take them on that journey. That's how you attract more people in. That's how you get people to go yes to themselves, to them. Not if it's just like, if somebody sent me like, oh my gosh, you got to check out this Tupperware. I'd be like, I got a crap ton of Tupperware in my house now. It just holds food, right? It just holds food. But if somebody shared a story with me, their message of, how you use this Tupperware and you get the ring around and then all of a sudden you look like it will never come clean. It's completely stained and all these things. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, all my crap is stained, but I have a lot of it. And what if you didn't have to worry about that and you didn't have to wonder if it was actually actually clean or not? And is that food melted into the plastic? Is it safe for me to use? Is it safe for my kids? Yeah, those are the thoughts that went through my head too. And this is why I chose whatever product it is, even if it's from Target, right? People then will go, wait, I think I want that. I think I need that. Because you hit their pain source and what they're already thinking, but just avoided because they're like, oh my God, I got so much of that stuff in my house. Same thing when we're talking about Thrive. If you're only talking about Thrive and your transformation, and let's all be real. How many of you when you were introduced to Thrive was like, yeah, I've done all of it. I've done it all. And I've seen these pictures before. Yep, that product works for some people. It's probably not going to work for me. But then you read a story. The picture got you skeptical, like, yeah, it's just another one of those things that worked for that person. But then you read a story that didn't even talk about weight loss, that talked about life and filling their life with joy and patience. And you're like, gosh, I want that. That's why I said yes to Thrive. I didn't say yes to Thrive because I needed to lose weight. I did need to lose weight. I had just had a baby, but I was exhausted. I was impatient. I was not living a happy life. This is supposed to be the best time of your life. And I read a story, a message that said, you don't have to be like that. You can be like this. Experience this product and see for yourself. That's why I came in. I came in because of a story that spoke bigger than a transformation. So when you're talking about your story, be vulnerable. Share the things that you're like, I don't know if this matters, because it does. It does matter to people. It matters to me. I say yes to things not because of what they look like or I can't smell, so I can't say what they smell like, with candles or whatever. I just am like, oh, okay. But why is it that you said yes? And what is holding people back? I sit down at least once a week and I write down objections. How many of you guys write down objections? Let me know in the chat. Do you sit down and write down objections? I'm guessing many don't. Yes. Okay. Yep. Okay. Awesome. Some of you do. Here's the reason I write down objections. Because when somebody says it's too expensive, if I don't write objections down and I review them for myself and I get language on how do I respond to an objection, I am not going to respond with confidence and that posture. So I review objections every single week because we are in sales. And when we share a story, no matter how vulnerable, however, doesn't matter how much success you have. So this post here that I did on Sunday got 325 reactions, 64 comments, and 4 shares. Awesome. But how many people actually messaged me off this that don't show on here? And I'll tell you, I had a lot of messages, but I can tell you the exact number that came into my inbox with negative comments, negative self-belief in themselves, limiting beliefs that they have. That was 6. 6 people took the time to message me and say, I'm happy for you, but that's kind of like bragging. Like, why would you post that? Because they have their own limiting beliefs. So if I wasn't prepared, knowing my story, and I didn't know objections that would come, and I wasn't preparing myself for those objections and how to stand in a posture and confidence and with heart, right? I'm not gonna like, because they're like, and I don't do that. I like to just bless and release, or, you know, help them see a bigger picture for themselves. But objections are going to come. You're in sales and you're sharing stories, and people are going to be skeptical, and people are going to be hurt from a previous thing. And so, you know, sharing your story is your story. It's the truth, right? And so you can stand with posture, and I'm telling you, you will attract the people that are meant to be in your tribe, meaning your customers or your business partners. When you show up as you attract those that want what you have to offer, your solution, your support, your love, your guidance, right? Okay, let's see here. Looking at some of these comments here. But how do you write it? Are you Catherine, are you talking about like, how would you write a post? If so, I'll answer that. So how would you write it? Well, you just write it. You just write your story. You write a piece of your story. And if you just hit post, guess what? It's awesome, right? So for instance, Cosette, I don't know if she's on or not, but the other day, you know, 2 years ago, before she was thriving, she would never have went on social media and posted a picture of herself in a bathing suit. Never. But when she posted the other day in a bathing suit, she had posture. She had confidence. Why? Because her story changed from 2 years ago to today. That picture, you could tell a story, but when she wrote something so simple, is who, you know, she just related to so many people. And that's how she attracts people, because people know how she felt to what she became. And now they're attracted to her because they're like, I feel the same way, but I want to feel like this, right? So you got to share that vulnerability of how you used to feel, what you did, and now where you are to attract the people, right? So that is how you write it, whatever that story is. If it's from, you know, living in the basement with my parents to finally getting on my feet and going, this isn't my story, I'm making this up, but living in the basement with my parents to finally getting on my feet and getting my own apartment and starting to live life, and then realizing, oh my gosh, this is hard. You'll get through it, but people want to know, like, oh my gosh, they have hardships too, and that's where I am. And then I found this opportunity, and I was scared to death. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had support, and they had so much belief in me that I couldn't do anything but believe in myself. And I just took that leap of faith and said yes, not knowing where it would go, not knowing what to do. And I'm so grateful that I said yes, and I grabbed a hold of it, and I just did everything they said. and I created this. Now we went from the basement to an apartment to now I just bought me and my kids our first home. Now that's a story that people will attract and grab onto. If I were to share a story like, woohoo, I'm super excited, we just bought a home, and everybody will be congratulations. And it's a powerful story. But how much more powerful is the first one versus the second one? Because people are following you that don't know your past story. And they don't relate to you and your new story yet. But if you share with them the start to the journey to the end, that is where you will have the power, the attraction. Okay. All right. Let me see here. So objections, Catherine, are like, it's too expensive, or it won't work for me. Yeah, I'm glad it worked for you. Or, yeah, I don't do shakes. I'm not wearing that silly sticker. Not happening. I don't do capsules. Like, do you got anything else? I don't do capsules. Or I just don't know. I love my coffee. I can't give that up. Right? Those are all objections, right? Yeah. So the first story is way better. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll do another training on objections. I'm just saying, like, that is something just to know, and, you know, maybe have a little team gathering. I'd love for you guys to go, okay, if you have a team of 2, of 10, of 30, of 200, gather together and do a mastermind. Mastermind just means that you come together and you all put input in, but say, here's the objection. What do you say to that? 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 And then you compile this, like, I don't even know what you call it, but this database of answers to objections. And it's a beautiful thing when you all can do that. So that's what I want you guys to do. And we'll do a training on it, but go and empower yourself to gather as a team and use their responses and your responses, tweak them and go, oh my God, this is amazing. You'll be so excited when you see how that works out for you guys as a team. Okay. Does everybody get what I mean by, you know, sharing your story, how those two were so different? Now, let's say we want to talk, it's Transformation Tuesday, and you want to talk about your transformation, you know, awesome. But if you've shared your transformation like every single week for the last 3 years, they probably are like, all right, I get it. I haven't said yet. If they haven't said yes yet to your transformation, they might need to see somebody else's transformation. And okay, so start sharing some others. If that's not grabbing people's attention, their story, right? Not just their like picture, then the next and the best way is to do a live video interview. People can hear their voice, they can hear their emotion, and they can immediately be drawn in to that story, even more than words and pictures. So some of you aren't ready for live video. Some of you aren't ready to do that yet. But I tell you, when you step into that, that's where the power is. Have a plan. So I want to cover this. Have a plan when you do your live videos, your dual lives, because it's kind of a, excuse my language, but a lot of times it's a shit show when people go live, right? It's like, oh my God, you just wasted my time. And it might have been incredible content, but it was like too far gone. And I'm like, I'm out. So have a plan. When you go live, just go, oh my gosh, I'm super excited. You know, you've heard my story, and my story has transformed my life. But I'm telling you, you are going to absolutely love hearing my friend Randy's story. And I'm not going to share it, but I'm going to ask him a couple questions. So Randy, I would love for you just to share, you know, who you were before you found this product that we both fell in love with. He shares his before vulnerable story, right? Of like, this is what it was. And people will be like, oh my gosh. Like wow. And then tell me about your day 1, your day 3, your day 10. And tell me what has been the biggest transformation for you after you said yes. That's a story. And end it right there and go, oh my gosh, like if you absolutely, like, let's give Randy some love. Like, oh my gosh, this is such an incredible story. And hey, if you got any questions for me, whoever invited you to look at this or watch this, get back with them, ask them their questions, because what if your story is something like this? And it can be, and it will be. So I can't wait to hear your story. Boom, done, end it, land the plane, move on. Those are like 10 minutes long. And I'm telling you, that's going to attract people to you. It's a story that attracts. Okay, hopefully that was a good example. And Randy's like, yes, let's do this. Let's do it live. We should. Maybe I just manifested that. Maybe, yes. Okay, but think about that. Not just your story of transformation, not just their story of transformation, but maybe you have a friend. Maybe my post definitely like inspired you. Why not say, hey, Natasha, or anybody, right? You have Amanda Arnett, who her story is absolutely powerful. Jamie Pekka, Chastity, like there's every single one of you watching has an incredible story. What if you shared that story, and not just the transformation of you, your body, but what about mindset? What about confidence? What about sharing about your journey of, from your success, from house to house to house to house, to struggle to success, from negative in the bank account to now I have options. That is a story, you guys. There's so many stories intertwined in our biggest story. Pull one part out and let's highlight it. Pull another part out. You will never run out of weeks to share those stories. Every single week, focus on, okay, I'm going to do a confidence story this week. I'm really going to focus on confidence. And then next week, I'm really going to focus on transformation. I really know people are ready. They're trying those bathing suits on here soon, and they ain't liking what they see in that mirror. So yeah, you're going to show transformations that their source of pain is, I ain't liking what this bathing suit looks like, but I'm liking what I'm seeing in those bathing suit transformations. I need to talk to, I got to talk to Natasha. I got to get on that product, because obviously. So I think about what my friends, my network, my followers on Facebook are thinking. And that's what I market. That's what I share. That's what I sell. It all means the same thing. But it's strategy, right? So right now it's like 86, 90 in Michigan. And those mamas and dads are putting those bathing suits on, and they ain't liking it. You better believe in my stories, I'm showing pictures of those transformations, because I know that's a source of a pain right now inside of them. But I have a solution to fix that pain, but they don't realize their story, their transformation is going to be even more bigger than that. Right? Okay. Does this all make sense? Does this all make sense? Is this good? You getting some stuff? Vision boards. I've done a story on my vision board, like where we started, what we've done, our new one, what we're dreaming bigger, because that gets people to dream. People have forgotten how to dream. They were taught at a young age to not dream. How many of you guys are that person? Is that you're like, I want to be an astronaut, and your parent said, or somebody in your life, maybe a teacher, unfortunately, said, I just don't know if you're caught out for that. Right? Like you've had that, like, oh, why would you want to do that? And immediately you're like, oh, why do I want to do that? They have taken your power away, and they've given you limiting beliefs. So people from a young age have been stripped of what it means to dream, what it means to have a vision. Share that. Maybe you have that story where I had this dream as a kid that, oh my gosh, I want to do this. And somebody in your life, and this is where vulnerability comes into play, is someone in your life took that power and dream away, and you never were confident enough to pull that dream back out and go after it. Because you had that limiting belief that you couldn't do it, that you weren't meant to do it, that it wasn't in the plan. But guess what? You found a way to break that barrier, start dreaming again, and look where I've come. Those limiting beliefs do not define who you are today or who you are in the future. It's time to break through the wall, right? That's power. But sharing, this is my vision board. I'm super excited to work hard for it. We got big dreams. They're like, yay, cool. They'll give you a reaction, but they don't feel that. You want people to feel, right? Yes, Randy, so important to have a vision board and reminder of your why. Absolutely. Like, why do I wake up every single day to do what I do for the amount of hours that I do it? Because of people and because of my kids' dreams and the things they want to achieve and the things that we want to do for them and the things I want to do for my family outside of my immediate family, right? So these are the things that you have to share. Is this like, I hope this is making sense. Like you're getting that from a superficial story to where you can really attract your tribe by going deep. And you don't have to go deep in this like book. It's deep in like this. But you share one part and you go deep in that one part, and you share another part and you go deep in that. You know, like Chastity, you know, her story is not just thrive. She loves you know, ministry in the with the juvenile, right? She does ministry there, and that's a big part of her why. And she has so many incredible things that she loves, and it's who she is. And that is what attracts me to Chastity and who she is as a human, and her heart, and how she serves at such a high level, how she, you know, she worships and she prays over people. Like, that's because I know that about her, and she shared that on social media. She's been vulnerable. I'm attracted more to being in her tribe and her circle and her support and her guidance and her protection and all that, right? Because I've been given an opportunity to see further into her life and who she is. Where somebody else who just has a superficial, you know, transformation and things, and they say certain things, I'm like, I don't really know you, and I'm not attracted to you. I don't want a deep connection because you haven't given me a reason to want that. That's the same thing I'm saying for you guys. Like, your story, your message is how you attract people to your tribe. That's how you attract them. 100%. They are going to want the solution that you have for them, but they first have to know who you are, and they have to relate to you or want to be around you more, right? And trust you. So, any questions? Before I go into, I'm going to go over like story foundation as far as like the Thrive experience story, if you guys are cool with that. Let me see here. Who is on? I'm not sure. Hold on, guys. Okay. Awesome. All right. So let's go into the story foundation, because I think this is a very, very important thing. And you hear it every single day, every single time you are on a call with Paul or Jason or Drew or any of the leaders. It is like day 1, day 3, day 10. Day 1, day 3, day 10. Day 1, day 3, day 10. Like, how many of you guys are like, yep, it's like a broken record? Well, success is duplicated. It is always duplicated. Okay, so here is how I share my story. And then Randy, if you're okay, I would love for you to pop on here in just a minute and kind of share how you share your story, just to get a man's perspective. If you're still on. Yep, you're still on. Okay, I don't know if you're able to, but if you are, let me know in the chat and I'll bring you on. But so for me, if you came on and you're like, oh my gosh, Natasha, I'm super excited for my friends to hear your story, can you share with them your story? Okay, awesome. Absolutely, I would love to share my story. And let me tell you, it hasn't, you know, I'm really high energy now, but I'm going to take you back, because before I was introduced to this product, I was a mom, a wife, a business owner. I had a 3-month-old and a 2-year-old with night terrors. I got like 3 hours of interrupted sleep. I was burning the candle at both ends. I didn't even want to wake up. I hit that snooze button 20 times. I dragged my butt out of bed. I was impatient with my kids. It was always their fault that we were late, but they're 3 months old and 2 years old. You get what I'm saying. Like, it was horrible. I literally kept asking people, like, how long does this last? Because this is not fun. Like, I don't know if being a mom is what was in my cards, because this is so hard. And then I'd go to work and I'd have to put on that fake smile and care and serve my clients at a high level. And by the time I got home after having 10 clients for the day, I was like, I had no energy for my kids, no energy for my husband. So I don't know if you can relate to that, but that's where I was before I was introduced to Thrive. And then on day one, after I said yes, I loved how simple it was. I was like, this is too simple to be true, right? So simple. Day 3, I personally didn't really notice anything other than I could successfully take this every day. And I knew it wasn't going to be wasted and sitting in my cupboard and not being taken. I knew I could successfully take it. And by day 10, when I reflected back on those 10 days, this is what I noticed, and it blew me away. I noticed I wasn't hitting snooze anymore. I noticed I was feeling rested when I woke up. I had patience for my 2-year-old. I was finally having a conversation with my husband. And let's just be real. When you have no energy and you've like wasted your day, you don't even want to you don't want to talk to anybody after you get home. We were having conversations again. I was helping cook. I was helping clean. And I couldn't believe that this 3 simple step process and product did this, but it did. And it just continued to get better. So I don't know if this is something you're looking for. I would love to hear what your goals are and see if this is a good fit for you. Boom, that's what I say. That's it. I drop, boom, done. I don't go on. I don't say anything. I just share those simple things. So that's how I share it. So Randy, I'm gonna unmute you. Oh, there you go. So I would love for you to take over and go just share it, just like what I did.
Hey, let me give a disclaimer first, okay? We just drove in from the Grand Canyon last night, got home 10 o'clock at night, and I'm currently making pancakes for the kids. So
nice! I love it!
My daily alarm I set for your training woke me up, basically. So, all right. So, I just have people introduce me as their friend Randy. He's a retired firefighter. But my story is this. I have 10 kids, 2 grandkids. I'm 53 years old. And I was a fireman for 32 years. I've been shot, stabbed, blown up. Actually missing part of this right ear here. You can see I should have a hearing aid in this one from an explosion. 7 bulging discs, torn clavicle, torn shoulder, 2 torn biceps. Knees rebuilt, right ankle has more metal in it than a Volkswagen. I was surviving on large energy drinks like this size every single day, about 3 of them, because I wasn't a coffee drinker, but I needed to keep up. My fire station was one of the 4th busiest fire station out of 104 fire stations. So I needed to keep up. I was a paramedic assessment engine, and we just were on the go. We worked 72 hours straight too. So it was just like, bam. But, being a guy, I was like, somebody said, wear the silly sticker, it's going to change your life. I'm like, yeah, that's funny. Wear a Band-Aid, and it's going to make me feel amazing. That's really funny. But I was basically, kind of forced to do it. So I did. Very skeptically, wanted to prove it wrong. Day 4, I had a little bit of craving, appetite craving, I guess you could say. I had a kryptonite weakness to kettle corn, right? And I was at the Orange County SWAT meet, and I walked right past the kettle corn stand. And I was like, and somebody hit me up and said, "You're not going to get kettle corn?" I'm like, "No, I'm cool." And they're like, "Oh, so you don't feel Thrive?" That was day 4. Day 7, I was on duty at the fire station, woke up, felt amazing. I slept through the night. And mind you, with my injuries, I wasn't sleeping through the night. I tossed and turned, repositioned my leg and my ankle. But I slept great, woke up. I was like, boom, let's go, guys, let's go work out. My firefighters are half my age. They're like, yeah, okay, whatever, Cap. They're all into CrossFit and everything. I went to the high school football stadium, put on a 43-pound air pack, grabbed the 10-pound sledgehammer out of the back of the fire engine, and I just started running bleachers, man. And I'm like, I got Justin Timberlake in my headset, rocking, right? What more do you need, right? And I did the entire stadium twice. And I remember going back to the firehouse. I was like this, holding the water bottle up to my face. I couldn't do it. I was like, oh my God, I just killed myself. But I slept really good that night, and woke up the next day, and I was like, unbelievable. I could not believe my recovery was so amazing. How I felt is so hard to explain. You know, it's one of those things you really truly do have to experience this to feel that way. But I've lost 6 inches off my waist, and obviously, you know, I'm a grandpa. I'll be 54 this year, you know what I mean? And I feel like I'm in my 20s. So it has just been life-changing. And, you know, my internal health, which a lot of people don't really pay attention until something bad happens, but my internal health did a 180, and it was in a bad shape. Eating like Del Taco, drinking energy drinks, no sleep, no working out because I just couldn't, you know. And to change all that gave me life back. So it's just been an amazing blessing. And I'll tell people this when I'm done. Hey, do you have any questions about it? You know, and they'll ask me a question, or sometimes they'll share stuff with me that their friends who put them on the phone with me didn't even know. You know, just because I'm real, I'm not trying to sell a product. I'm just telling my story. And I'll also, before we hang up, say, hey, you know, just to let you know, if you share this with 2 people, you can get it for free. And if they react to it, I'll highlight on it. If they don't, they just leave it at that. But when they do react to it, they go, really? I'm like, yeah, dude, I've been thriving for 5.5 years for free. I paid for shipping. And really, you know, the money I make as a promoter really doesn't, you know, I've been thriving for 5.5 years for free, you know? And they're like, no way. I'm like, yeah, I bought my first month 5.5 years ago. You know, what a blessing it's been for my family. So that's it. Just quick and simple. The whole thing should take, you know, no more than 7 minutes, you know?
For sure. And see that, like right there, how would he have put that into words with that emotion? And would somebody feel what he just said by it written out? Not as much.
Yeah.
They would get a glimpse, right? They would get a glimpse of it and go, oh, that's interesting. But you heard his passion, his ups, his downs, his voice went with his journey.
Yeah, you know, it's important too to get your story out there on the fan page. That's really important because a lot of people do surf the fan page.
Yeah.
A lot of people that are promoters actually look for people to comment and say, wow, how do I get started? And they're like, hey, I can help you out with that.
Yes.
You know, my story, I think, has the most shares on the fan page. It has about 6,200 shares. Yeah. Shares, not likes. That's pretty amazing, right? That's pretty powerful. So that's why it's so important to get that story on the fan page. Also, Natasha, voice recordings too. Mm-hmm. If you can't, I tell people that I think the best thing to do, because I got chicken people that just, like, they pick up that phone, they're like, ah! Yeah, but, you know, so I say, put me in a group direct message on Facebook with you, me, and your prospective customer. Because what that does, that allows them to go in there too and kind of Facebook stalk you to see who you are, what you're about, if it's all real. Yeah. And before you know it, after a couple of dialogues back and forth, we're on the phone. It's that simple, you know? So, all right.
Absolutely. Thank you. You're awesome. Go back to feeding those kids. Awesome. Oh my gosh. So you guys see how powerful that is. And his story being on the fan page, my story being on the fan page, your story being on the fan page, it may not get you a new customer, but it changed someone's life. Like when you start thinking big of how your story, your message can change someone's life, you immediately are empowered to help and share with so many more people. So I see Chas is on. Chas, I would love for you to pop on. We're talking about, how your story, how your message will change someone. Like that's how you attract your tribe. And so, of course, I was attracted to Thrive because you shared a story that you didn't know, you didn't even know I would see it, number one, but it was a story that I related to. And that's why I reached out to, hey, this is who I am. This story really responded to me. And I think this might help. I want to see. And so that led me to saying yes. But then continuously, you've always been vulnerable and shared who you are as a person on social media. So I'm continuously, I'm attracted to getting to know you more and being tighter and closer and closer. And because you share that story and you attract us in, anybody, right? So I'd love to hear your feedback on it.
Hey, Tosh.
Hey.
Well, I'm gonna keep my pretty picture up there because I don't want to scare y'all. But I loved Randy's energy. But I think the thing that I want to kind of backtrack and say, you were attracted to my story then because I was sharing my vulnerability and my real world truth. I think what has happened, and this is kind of, guys, this is just being transparent. What's happened over the years is I had forgotten where I was in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's nice to have the electric bill paid during the pandemic. It's nice to have the pantry filled during a pandemic. You have to remember where people are. And for me, I was not, I've even gut checked, check up from the heart, neck up during this pandemic. Yes, I am in my gym working out and doing all the things. But when I started Thrive, if somebody would have posted that, I probably would have eye rolled because I was not working out. I was not taking care of myself. And so I think that it's important for people to see how far we've come and to see what Thrive has done for us, but we can't ever forget where we came from. I went to a conference that Oprah Winfrey did, and I loved what she said because she said, every time I have a success, every time I have a breakthrough, a milestone, an accomplishment, I go back to that moment when my dad got his first house. It was like 1,100 square feet. And she was like, I'd never had a brick house before. And I remember the feeling. She said, I remember that feeling. And I take myself, even for just 10 minutes, and I place myself back in that moment of what was that feeling? And we have to remember, what was that feeling before we took our capsules on an empty stomach? What was that feeling before we got that $400 in bonuses? What was that feeling? And although people want to see progress, they want to see success, it's important to, again, not forget where we come from.
Yeah.
I know how to manage my money now because I've been broke. I know that I have to know how many minutes is it going to take me on a treadmill to get rid of that cheesecake that I just have to have. I know the consequence for what I'm trying to accomplish. So that's what I love to share with people. Thrive doesn't fix everything. Thrive doesn't, get rid of all the bad days. And I'm not afraid to share that. Now, do I have a safe circle for the really bad days? Yes, absolutely. And some may see that and go, oh, well, you don't share all of it. No, I don't. I'll be the first to tell you, I don't put it all out there. If you get to know. And hey, if you're on here, you're smart enough to know social media is as filtered as I want it to be. Social media is as exposed as I want it to be. That's just the truth. There is always something else on the other side of that screen. But the thing is that, when you make your post public, you give people permission to have an opinion. That's just the truth of the matter. You give them permission. But when you are okay with saying, you know what, I'm struggling with this right now, even though I am a thriver. I shared in my video the other day and someone was like, I love what you said. Even though I share a health and wellness product, I don't feel very health and wealth today. That's what people want to see. We're going to go through ups and downs. It's called life. It's called, unpredictability of life and circumstances. And, I'm going to, emotionally eat one day and then I'm going to kill it in the gym. And that's what people want to see. They want to know that you're human. And I think that's what you saw. And that's what brought you in to the reality of, if that can happen for that person, why can't it happen for me? And when we put on just our good side, when we put on just the good of how we feel, the good of life, people can't relate to that. And what are we looking for? We're not looking for perfect people. We're looking for tired, exhausted people. We're looking for struggling people. Because I'm going to tell you something. When I bring business partners in and they start killing it, I always go, what's your story? Because there is something that you've walked through in your life that has caused you to boss up. Yeah. Rachel Hollis talks about it a lot. When she goes through a time in her life that is a struggle, she shares, she's transparent that, she lost her brother. She even found him, in that time. And she says, nothing that I will ever walk through in life, or that I have walked through in life, will be as bad as that trauma and that tragedy in my life. So, do I believe you have to share it all? No. But I do believe that people, especially in a very filtered society, people want to know, hey, you know what? You're just like me. And if you're just like me in the struggle, if you're just like me in overcoming, if you're just like me then, or you were just like me, then maybe that you're sharing could be me. A lot of people think, well, Chastity, you've always been outgoing. You always have, a fun personality. I've got my own insecurities. I shrink back a lot. But when I can share that, people will be drawn into me. So that's when I call, Natasha, attractive marketing, because you attract people to you. You will attract what you're putting out there. If you're, a boy mom, you're going to attract boy moms. If you're, single mom, you're going to attract singles. You are going to attract, your vibe attracts your tribe. I know that sounds cliche, but it really does.
It's
You're
true.
negative Nancy. Misery loves company, right? So, what I say is keep true to you, but don't forget that even though you're like thriving through life, this is awesome. Go back every once in a while. And like Randy said, make sure your story is out there. Make sure people are hearing who you were before everything changed.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And hey, Lisa Fuller, if you're still on, I would love to hear from you on the power of the fan page and getting your story on there.
I just can't understand why everybody on here hasn't already done that if they haven't.
Or multiple times by now, right? I think my story has been on there like 10 times.
Right. I mean, I think it does a lot of things. I mean, one of the first thing it does is I think it gives you some validation, because people that aren't in Lavelle, somebody shouts you out, oh my gosh, you're on the company fan page. I mean, those people don't get that anyone can just write their story in. It makes you kind of look like special. Oh my God, you were featured. So I think it's a great marketing tool too. But I also think that, having your story out there for people to see and be able to utilize, and for you to utilize those stories too. I mean, I don't know how many times that I've been talking to someone that I just can't relate to. I mean, we're all so different, and I'm not going to relate to a brand new mom that has twins. I mean, my kids are 15 and above. I mean, I'm just not going to relate to that person. And the biggest thing that I've found over, the last few years is it isn't really about, having to sell someone. It's about getting someone. It's like that third party credibility. It's another way to get in that third party credibility. It's someone else saying besides you, this stuff is amazing. And then when you can get somebody that they're going to relate to, a story that they're going to go, oh my gosh, that person sounds just like me. That person is like, if they're experiencing this and they're in the same situation I am, or they're in the same profession I am, or they have the same stresses I do. It's like, if it's working for them, then it can work for me too, where your personal story just might not be relating to who you're talking to. So there's so many uses. And I mean, the fan page is one of the sneaky ways that I will try to recruit somebody. If I'm looking at somebody and they've kind of been asking me questions, and then, it's kind of not going anywhere, but I'm watching their Facebook page and I'm kind of learning about who they are, and I see a story, or I'll go purposely look for a story on the fan page, I'll private message it to them. I'll put it in a PM and I'll be like, hey, I saw this story today, and girl, you've got to read it. It reminded me exactly of you. You're the first person I thought of. They're going to read that, because people that, you kind of complimented them. Ooh, she thought of me. Okay, I got to see what this is about. Like, I'm going to read through that. And it can be just one of those things. And I'll tell you what, it was the fan page for me that got me to really want to try this product. I mean, I saw you guys using it, and I was like, okay, yeah, or whatever. But it was reading through stories. Like when I happened upon I was on Chas's page and clicked the fan page link, and I was like, okay. And it was, what really hit me is like there was a couple customer ones. It wasn't just promoters, there were some customer ones, and I was like, oh my gosh, why would a customer share their story? Like, I would never, as a customer, if I'm not getting paid, why would I share my story unless this stuff really works? And it was reading through those stories and stumbling on someone that sounded like me. And that's when I went, okay, I've got these issues, the same issues as this person. Why am I not trying this product? Like, I need to get over myself and just see if it works for me. And I think it gets people over that hurdle, but I don't think it's utilized enough, talked about enough. And I also don't think there's enough people that share their story. And I think the reason why too, Natasha, is a lot of people don't think their story's good. Well, my story's not, like Lisa's. It's not like Natasha's. It's not like Chas's. It's your story. You guys are, whether it's just the simple fact that it got you off a cup of coffee, or it got you off the couch, or you want to play with your kids when you get home from work. You guys, that is a story. That is a relatable story that someone needs to hear. So don't think, and I think the other thing too is, why I haven't been on the product long enough. Oh my gosh, no way. If you've been on the product 4 days, put your story in if you felt something. And as your story is developing, I mean, my story has changed on the fan page. My original story that I sent in, the last one I sent in was nothing like it. It was completely different 3.5 years later. So, and I think the other way to utilize the fan page is shouting people out. You can absolutely, and I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but you can shout people out with the fan page. Like, shout someone on your team out that's really, promoting or running, or, I mean, how cool would it be for your new 4K to wake up one day and go, oh my God, I'm on the fan page. Somebody wrote me in. I mean, that's so huge. And those stories too are proof that, oh my gosh, people are succeeding in this company. Look at all these people. Like, not only are they seeing results from the products, but they're actually making money too, and seeing results that way. So please, you guys, if you have not, I would say you should send in your story every 6 months. I would say that's a good amount of time. I mean, you don't want to send your story in every other day, or else it kind of loses the validity of it. But I would definitely say about every 6 months, and however it's developing, however your story has developed in that 6 months, and it does in 6 months time. There's things that when I first started Thrive, I didn't really need it for certain things. Now it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe what it's doing for this. It's completely changed. So every 6 months, and then have someone on your team, don't forget about shouting people out on your team, but have someone on your team go, oh my God, thank you. Did you see you're featured on the fan page? Have them put that on your Facebook page, and your friends and followers are going to be like, oh my gosh, like, she must be pretty cool or special in that company to be on their fan page. But I just think it's underutilized and such a powerful third-party credibility tool.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, because it is so powerful, like so powerful. I've had people from my story reach out to me and go, I just read your story and I've been looking for somebody to work with. It looks like you're a promoter, because they don't know, right? In our story, your story may be about your product transformation. They don't even know if you actually promote it. They come over to your page because they're going to stalk you if they relate to your story, and then they may reach out to you because they related to you and they were looking for someone to work with. So that's another way. In my story, I'm not even joking. Sometimes it's been months since I shared my story on the fan page, and they're reading and finding and looking to that story they relate to. So that's just power there, guys. It is so much power. And what's also really good is, have a recording, a YouTube video that's shareable, that is your day 1, day 3, day 10. Like, have one of those that if you're like, hey, here's my story, it allows them to see it, right? Or your team can use it. Do opportunities, like do transformation lives, interviews on Facebook. those are where you can really truly shine and have some power in those stories, and people are
Can I
watching.
just say something, Natasha? I hope
Absolutely.
everybody is writing down what you just said, because that is gold. You can all day long write out your story in Messenger. People don't get it, and half the time they don't even read through it. But
Right.
if you send a link to a video, people are too curious. They have to click it. And hearing your passion, and just quickly, I'm not talking about a 50-minute video, but just that quick video of, this is what Thrive has done for me. This is what happened day 1, day 3, day 10. That's it. 5 minutes. And I'm telling you, that can make the biggest difference on whether you're going to, convince that person about Thrive and what it is. And not only that, but if you have everybody on your team do that, imagine getting like in a team page, having a vault, like Chas's vault, but having a vault full of just those 3-minute videos and labeled, teacher,
Boy, mom,
single mom, boy mom, yes. And having a prospect and sending not your 3-minute video, but somebody else's 3 to 5 minute video of their day 1, day 5, day 10 that relates to your, like, we need to do that.
Chas, I think we need to get that in the vault. We need a challenge for the team. I think that is awesome. She's muted. What's she thinking? I'm on mute.
I'm sorry. It's awesome. It's so awesome.
I think it's awesome. I think it's super exciting. Okay, guys, that is the power in your story. That's how you truly attract your tribe. There's no hacks. There's no secrets. There's nothing. It's that simple. It's your story. It's other stories. It's being relatable. It's being vulnerable. And it's being open and getting to know people, right? And and asking them what they want, what they need, and serving them. That's literally how I attract my tribe. That's how Lisa attracts her tribe. Chastity attracts hers. Randy, every single person on here. We don't overthink it. We just share. And those that are attracted to what we're about want to be more part of what we're about and what we're doing. So the challenge is, and if you're like on other teams, so like Randy, you could do your challenge with your team, but that like 3 to 4 minute max, like I would say 3 minutes. I think that's a perfect amount of time to share your, before day 1, day 3, day 10, and then kind of creating a little vault of those and being able to have that's powerful for the entire team. So definitely do that. I think that's like genius just come out of my mouth, and Lisa took it and turned it into an amazing package. So that's why you share things out loud, because others, like, it's a masterminding thing. It's super awesome. So that's what I have for you today. Get out there, share your story, share other people's stories. Do not be scared to share. It is your truth. It is their truth. And there's somebody out there that because you shared your story, it's going to change their life, just like it did you. You got to open your mouth and you got to share to be able to change that life that's sitting out there praying for something, that's waiting for something, that has no clue you have the solution because they haven't heard your true story. So thank you guys all so much. Tomorrow I'm going to do a different training. We're going to talk about something different. It's going to be on self-development. And this is a big thing for Lisa. I know she's like the self-development junkie and guru and expert, but self-development is how you continue to build that confidence. So that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So have an awesome day. Thank you all so much. This will be over on YouTube in about 10 minutes. Bye.